fucking knock on that door, right? You know this sound? Knocking the fucking door. Don't just step into Shredster's realm without permission, right? But since you're fucking here, let's do a fucking review of Dragon Quest fucking Heroes, alright? So, gonna review Dragon Quest Heroes for you. I bet that many of you fucking viewers out there are thinking, why does YouTube Shredster always fucking review Japanese games? Well, let me tell you why I fucking review Japanese games. Because the Japanese fucking developers know how to successfully create an engaging, epic, spirited, superb action system that the West just can't do. They just can't fucking do it. Some of them can do it with the help of Japanese developers. But let me tell you, man, the fucking kings of gameplay are still the Japanese developers, regardless of the sales of their games. So, I say, Japan fucking rules gameplay. If you go to some recent games like the fucking Witcher 3, it's got decent combat. It's alright. I mean, when you attack the enemy, you hit the enemy. When you play Skyrim and you push the attack button, you hit the enemy. When you guard, sometimes you guard. It's decent, it's barely working, right? When I play a fucking great Japanese game, everything is fucking spot on, like the fucking Tales of series. Most of Omega Force's series, like the fucking developer here, it's called Omega Force. They did this fucking game. They have most of the Muso games. But let me tell you, this is by far their best game because they don't limit themselves to fucking war combat when you just slash at enemies that don't put up any resistance. Like if you play a Dynasty Warrior game, you just go through the masses, kill 500 enemies. It gets fucking boring after a while. But this game has great enemy diversity, and that's why I wanted to make a shred view of this fucking game. The first fucking Omega Force game I felt the urge to really talk about, because it's a worthy title of fucking talk about. The last Omega Force game I played was Samurai Warriors 4. That was a great game too, but it was still pure Muso, and Muso games tend to become ridiculously repetitive. And this game is a bit repetitive too. I'll get to that later, right? But first of all, I just want to say, best Omega Force fucking game, in my opinion. I'm gonna tell you why I think so. Let's start with the story aspect. I mean, the story in this game is super simple. It's old school JRPG story shit, alright? Where your characters are warriors of light, and you are gonna fight against the darkness and the monsters. That's one of the unique things in this game. The monsters and the humans live together in the beginning of the game. So the story starts out in a happy-go-round way. So everything is in fucking perfect harmony. Suddenly the monsters start attacking the humans, and they split and start fighting each other. And from that point out, you constantly fight monsters throughout the game because some evil force is controlling them, and you need to find out who, and you need to stop it. And only the warriors of fucking light can do that because they have super light powers. I mean, it's cheesy as fuck, old school shit, early JRPG concept. But let me tell you why it's still great in this game. Because it's told with characters that are alive as fuck. It's told with cutscenes that are some of the best cutscenes I've ever experienced in a game, alright? I mean, it's cutscenes from the beginning to end. The cutscenes just come to life on screen and you're just 100% engaged. And then you go like, holy shit, look at that fucking shit! And this is a slight spoiler, but it's early in the game, so it's not really a spoiler. You get an airship. And when you're on the world map, you control the airship flying around to your destination. It's not really the best way in terms of the old school JRPGs where you're in total free control. But this is one of the best one of the best ways to do this airship method without actually playing a full-fledged JRPG, because the ship in this game is like a hub where you always get back to. After every mission, you're back in the airship. But since the airship it's always moving around the world, it doesn't matter because you kind of feel like you're in a different place even if you're always back at the airship. So the immersion is very good, especially for being a short-length action RPG. The story mode is like 20 hours long, but you can still push the hours up to 50, 60 hours because the game has a shitload of content. Now let's get to the gameplay, the fucking meat of this fucking game. You have like 14 characters, I think, 13 or 14 characters, and they all play completely differently. A few characters like the sword-wielding main character called Lucius and the other sword-wielding main character called Aurora, which you can choose between in the beginning of the game. You can choose if you want to be a male or female, and Lucius and Aurora are childhood friends, and you can still play with both, but you follow one main character because you always have to have that character you choose on your team. All sword-wielding characters in this game have some things in common, like they wield a shield. When you push R1, L1, you fucking guard, and it's a perfect implemented guard. I can start by saying that, my friends. It's a perfect implemented guard. How often do you get the perfect guard in a game? Almost fucking never! That's a huge compliment! If you're in the middle of a fucking combo and you go slashing like a spirited warrior with superpowers, and you do a fucking combo like 500 hits, and you just go and the enemy starts attacking you, and you push L1, no matter where you push L1, if you're in the middle of a combo, in the middle of a move, who gives a shit? You just pow, guard that perfectly, and nothing can fucking stop you. That's how guards should be in every fucking game ever released on the fucking planet Earth. But are most systems like that? No! In most games you attack and you see an attack coming and you push guard and nothing fucking happens until you get hit, and then you go like, fuck me, what's the point of having this fucking guard in this fucking game if it's fucking not working as it should? But it fucking works as it should in this game, my friends. Fucking 3 knocks on the fucking table for that, my friends. It's awesome! Perfect guard system! You can even use accessories that lets you fucking guard 360 degrees around the character. So even if the enemy comes behind you and you guard, it's like, pow! I guarded you, motherfucker! I still got you, shitheads! You can't fucking hit me because I got this fucking awesome accessory! Love that shit. Tons of accessories in this game. It's not much to say about it. Most of them are fucking sucky. You just need a couple of them. Like at one specific boss, if you don't have a certain accessory, you're kind of fucked from the get-go. One of the post-game battles against a fucking beast called Zoma. It's a fucking awesome fight. And another one is like a critical hit up thing. It's very, very good for certain aspects that you'll experience if you start playing this game. I can't go into details about all the accessories. I'm just gonna say, you got a shitload of them. Most are fucking useless, like in most fucking games. Still, some are good to have. It's a good system. A bit naggy. You also got a bunch of quests in this game. And most of the quests, you have to go through this menu every time you talk to some fucking, the quest giver. You have to hear this little tune. That is fucking nag up the ass. But the awards you get, and if you're going for the platinum like I did, I got the fucking plat, then you'll go through this tune 120 fucking times, and every time you deliver the quest, it's like fucking sucks! Why the fuck would they do it slow like that? I just want to push a quest, boom, accept, pow, move on, boom. I did this fucking quest, deliver the quest, pow, pow, finish, pow. I don't want to hear a fucking tune every time. Minor complaint, still a complaint because it nagged me after playing the game for 40 hours. I was sick to my stomach from this fucking little tune. Still, it's not a big complaint compared to the time you spend out in the combat zones and everything like that. Which is back to the gameplay, my friends. Sorry, I just go all over the place. That's why I call my fucking reviews Freeflow Reviews, because I have nothing planned. I just talk about the game, my experience with the game. I call it a review because I want to cover everything that a review covers. And I just go, and I just knock, I just punch, I get a critical hit in, and I fucking boom, slay like that shit. So, the combat, you rack up fucking combos. Some of the characters get special effects from the combos. Like one of the characters you can unlock in the post-game content or right before you finish the game, called Sorrow. One of the coolest looking characters I've ever played with in any game. His fucking comboing is sick. I mean, every character in this game has a long set of combos. Like if you hit square and then triangle, you have one combo. Square, square, triangle, another combo. If you played other Musou games, it's the same kind of system, but the way it plays out is much more like an action RPG than anything else. And some of the weapons you use have status ailments effect. Like some characters get status ailment down, like defense down when you hit them with a sword. It's a great fucking benefit, and some of the bosses go down much easier if you do that. And the same goes with some skills you have. I mean, the status ailment shit in this game is brilliant. Some of the characters use like ice magic, and if you use the ice magic with the character, the enemy freezes and you get a shitload of free hits in on them. Beautiful, I love that shit. Finally a game that uses the status ailments right in most of the games. If you have status ailments or like freeze, fire, flame, whatever, most of the time it's useless, you never use it. In this game it's beneficial as fuck. I love it. Like stun. Like if you meet a robot enemy and you use a sap, like you know that Dragon Quest magic, sappy, blah, 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 all that kind of shit. Then the enemy just goes down into the ground, fucking total shock, and you get a shitload of critical hits in. And that's the biggest bonus with this game. The enemy diversity is great. Some enemies are huge, some enemies are middle-sized. You find tactics on them. Like the tactic I just told you, the lightning strike, it's one of the biggest tactics in this game. They just go straight down and you fucking get benefits out of this fucking world. And it's fucking beautiful! And you just go on from enemy to enemy. Every enemy is different. Some enemies use attack magic that stops your super moves. So suddenly you can't do shit for a while. So you have to take out them first. And then you tactically take out that enemy. And then you go over there. And then you do this. Ooh! Your mind is always working and it's epic as shit. And every character's got a super move. And I love super moves! Fuck me, and these super moves in this game, you're completely immortal when you start your super. And you can just unleash moves like a motherfucker. And then you unleash the biggest of them all. And you get a full-fledged cutscene, and it just smashes all the enemies to bits. And it's beautiful. So, what do you do during this combat session? That's one of my main complaints with this fucking game. And I know the sequel just released in Japan, and if it ever comes to the West, I hope this shit has been fixed. Most of the missions, you have to protect something. Protection missions, that's 90% of the missions in this game. Like, oh, protect the Yggdrasil root. Oh, you have to protect it, and if the enemies get to it and they start attacking it, it's fucking game over, man. So you have to travel around on the map and kill some enemies called Maw Keepers. They're like some generals that constantly let out other enemies. So you have to take them down to stop the portals that sends out enemies to get that root or the castle gate or the statue you're protecting. So you have to act fast, and the intensity just gets worse and worse the more enemy that they can send out. So you have to be super fast to get them down. And after a while, when you get the hang of it, it's not that hard. I died like 5-6 times in this main story, but in the post-game content, I died like a fly on the fucking bosses. But still, it gets repetitive. I can just warn you right now, it gets repetitive, but the passion of the storytelling, the epicness of the moves, the diversity of the 13-14 characters you can play as, epic as fuck! And most of the characters in this game come from the other Dragon Quest games. So if you play the other Dragon Quest games, you get a nostalgia trip, because all the characters come from different worlds, and that's also implemented into the story. So the characters that join you, they're all from different worlds, but they join together to fight against this big threat that is told excellently with fucking full-out passion. I've said it 3 times, but it's fucking worth mentioning, man. Every time it gets repetitive. You get a cutscene, you get some dialogue, you can talk to your characters on the ship. It's very alive from beginning to end, and I loved every minute of it. The only thing is that fucking repetition, man. I tell you, they have to fix that in the sequel, because I want more diversity. And sometimes I just wanted to slay beasts and not think about protecting some shit. And one of the coolest things in this game is fucking a shitload of bosses! Huge fucking epic bosses! And the final boss, not gonna spoil it, I'm just saying, ooh, I love that shit! Oh yeah, that's how it's done, my friends! Epicness through the roof! Oh, I love it! So now I covered most of it. So I can say, you'll get a nostalgia trip, and this, now I'm gonna say something most of you who are big fans of Dragon Quest are gonna dislike. I enjoyed this fucking game, Dragon Quest Heroes, more than the mainline entries in this series. Because one of the things that really bugs me with this series is that in every game, you just travel from town to fucking town. And in every town there's a new problem. And you fix the problem in the town. Then you move on. Turn-based combat, turn-based combat. I love turn-based if the story is fucking awesome. But I have yet to play a mainline Dragon Quest game that entertains me with a story that makes me want to sit with a turn-based combat. Because if I can't get a great story, turn-based combat drags the shit out of me, alright? It's slow, it's fucking repetitive, and I need some action in either the story or the combat. I'd like to have both aspects in fucking full action-packed mode, but I need at least one, alright? That's why I love Final Fantasy the past Final Fantasy games, because the stories are epic as shit. You don't just travel from town to town doing some generic, boring quest. Like when I played Dragon Quest 8, I was like snooze fest halfway through. I liked some of the characters like Jangus, Jessica, everything was really nice characters. But when fuck me, after 50 hours or something, I was still going after Magus. Oh, you have to capture Magus. Slow. I didn't even finish that game, I'm ashamed to say. But this game to me was much more entertaining than the main quest, Dragon Quest game. So if you don't want to take my word on this game based on that, you're free to do so. I'm just saying, this is my favorite Dragon Quest game so far. Because the fucking is a perfect balance between action in the story and action in the gameplay and interest levels on every fucking aspect. So, with that, the Shredview is fucking over. I couldn't start babbling about the music, but most of the tracks come from different Dragon Quest games. They all sound fucking great. Dragon Quest music has never been right down my alley, so I'm not super hyped about it, but it sounds great. I mean, it's got the Dragon Quest vibe from the beginning to end. It's a really great compilation of tracks from the other Dragon Quest games. So, I don't have much to say about that. On final word, I'm gonna say this is one of the best fucking dubs I've ever heard. It's got a pure British English voice cast, and the voice actors are doing 10 out of 10 fucking job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, my little friends out there not slurping Pepsi like me because you drink fucking shit. The voice acting is superb, and I want more games to use English or British voice actors or fucking Australian voice actors. I'm sick of these half-ass American dubs where you don't feel like the voice actors give a flying fuck. This is gonna be one of my final videos on this so far, because in a couple of weeks I'm moving the fuck out of here into my new apartment. And from then on out, I'm gonna be fucking reviewing shit, I'm gonna be playing my new tunes, I'm gonna be making all my fucking videos in a flaming room from fucking hell. I can't wait to show you that shit, my friends. And I'm gonna be sitting like a fucking vampire in my fucking wine red chair with the flames around me. I'm gonna go like, fuck yeah, my friends, drink Pepsi or fucking die. It's gonna be like that. So, I'll talk to you later, my friends. Get these fucking games. I give this fucking shit 8 out of fucking 10 Pepsis. Yeah! Unlike Star Ocean 5, this game gets Pepsis. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! See you later! Adios, fuckers! Oh!